Hello, everyone. So today we are going to talk about strings. So we'll know a little bit more about like string operations. So that is our first topic, that is basic string operations. Next, we'll be talking about string slicing. So we are already familiar with the concept of slicing, right? We have learned that from chapter 7, like when we are using the list slicing. So in today's chapter, we are going to incorporate the same, but with strings. Next, we are going to see how you can test, search, and manipulate strings as well. So, the first thing that we will talk about is basic string operations. So there are many programs that perform operations on strings, as we already know that. So strings are also basically a type of sequences. So many of the tools that work with sequence can also be worked with strings. And strings are mutable as well. So you can modify the texts inside the strings. So in order to access each and every element in a string, you can directly use a for loop. So we already know how that works, right? So for character in string, so for every iteration, like for the first iteration, the character is a target variable in this case, which will be holding the first element of your string. For the second iteration, it will be holding the second element, so on and so forth. Next, like the basic operation or one of the many operations that you can perform by using the for is to basically calculate the repetition of a character. So if I want you to calculate how many times a letter T has been repeated in the word maybe string, or in the word maybe alphabet. So in that case, you will be iterating each and every character. You are going to check if the character is equal to T, if I'm asking for a lowercase t, and then you will have an accumulator variable, and you can just update that variable with respect to the number of counts or number of repetitions of the particular alphabet in the string. So that is one example, and you can also use the same concept of indexing here. So we already know that the index of the first element will be 0. Same thing is with respect to strings as well. So the index of the first element in a string is also 0. And the general format is like character is my string and then I. As strings are also sequences, you're just going to use the same square brackets to access a particular element in the string. Here I is the index of the element of in your string. Now, so in this case, like this is just an example. So you have your first iteration. So name is basically Juliet in this case. So for ch in name, print ch, you're entirely printing the complete name, that is Juliet. So the ch in this case, in the first iteration, it will be J. In the second iteration, it will be U. Third iteration, it will be L. Fourth I, fifth E, sixth T. As there are no more elements in the string, you are just coming out of the loop. That is how a for loop works. So this is an example of how to use that each and every character and how to use the for loop to basically count the total number of T's in this case. So this program is basically asking you to calculate the total number of T's. It could be both uppercase and lowercase t that appear in the string. So you are first having your accumulator variable, otherwise just a variable that will hold the entire value of your occurrences, and you are setting that to 0. Next, you are asking the user to enter a sentence. So that is my string, input, enter a string. And then for each and every character in the string that was entered by the user. So for ch in my string, which is a variable that is holding the string the user has entered, if the ch, the target variable, is equal to capital T, or if ch is equal to lowercase t. If that is the case, only then you are incrementing your count variable. Next, you are going to just print the count variable, as the value or the number that is stored inside the count is your total number of occurrences of the particular letter in your string. Hope that is clear. We are already familiar with this, the logical operator OR, and we are familiar with the if structure. We are also familiar with the for loop structure. So there is nothing new here. So this is with indexing. So here we have roses are red, and as this has 13 elements, including the spaces, see that we are also including spaces. The first index will be 0 and the last index will be 12. So if you want to know the total length of the string, you can also use len function that we have used for our tuples and we have used for our lists. So my strings roses are red, first character, so you have character is equal to a. So if you have ch is equal to my string 6, so 6 is the index, so 6 here is a. So the output of this operation, if you print ch, it will be value a. Similarly, if you are just trying to print some characters in your string, so from your string, so you have print my string 0, that is index 0, comma my string index 6, comma my string index 10. So that is 0 is capital R, 6 is A, as we have seen that already, and then 10 is small r. So your output will be RAR. Same thing, we are already familiar with the negative indexes. So if you are having -1, -2, and -13, it will be -1 is the first position from towards the end of the string, so that is D. And then you have -2, that is E. So that is second position from the end, so that is E. And then -13 will be the first element, that is from the 13th position towards the end of the string. So you have DER as your output. So when you are using the indexes, the concept of index, there is a good possibility of having a particular error. That is index error. You should also be familiar with the index error because we have looked into this in our chapter 7. So if you are trying to use an index that is out of range, then you are going to get the index error exception. This can happen when you are basically using a loop to iterate beyond the end of the string. So how can we fix that? By using the length of string. So if we know the total number of elements in our string, then there is a good possibility to reduce the index error exceptions. Next, concatenation. We have already seen this in the chapter 7. So concatenation is basically combining two different variables which are holding the similar data type or same data type. So in this, the operator that you are going to use is plus. The augmented assignment operator can also be used when you are concatenating. The only thing that you must remember is you can only concatenate a string with string. You can only concatenate a list with list. You cannot concatenate a list with string. So they have to be in the same. They have to be the same data type. So here are some examples. You have message is equal to hello, which is a string, plus word. Notice this. I have notice this. A space is also included after hello. That is because when you are concatenating, you'll need some space when you are looking at the output. It's not hello world is not one word, it is two words. So that is the reason why we have a space here. So plus you are going to get hello world. Same thing, first name, last name, full name is first name plus space, which is also considered as a string plus last name. So this will not throw any error. The output will be Emily Eager. Next, name. And then you are using the augmented assignment operator here, and you are adding a space, which is also a string character, plus last name, Yuan, plus again space, next, plus Smith. So once you print name, you will be seeing Kelly space, Yuan space, Smith as its output. Yeah. Okay, same thing here, letters ABC, letters plus is equal to DEF. Answer will be ABC, DEF. So strings are immutable. So once they have created, you cannot change the strings. So earlier I did mention that we can change or modify the text. For that, you can copy the string into a new string and then can make changes. So basically, when you create the strings, they will stay immutable, but you can create a new string and assign you can copy the contents of your original string, assign that to a new string, and then you can modify changes to your new strings. So concatenation doesn't change the existing string. It will only bring, or it will only add new information to your new string. So in this case, so here letters is equal to ABC, right? That is your original string. Now, when you are concatenating DEF to your existing or original string letters, now it is no longer considered as letters is equal to ABC, but it will be considered as letters is equal to ABCDEF. So the original letters will have a different memory allocation, and the new string that you have created will have a different memory allocation. So that is the reason why you can make changes like this, as it will just create a new string, as you are basically creating a new string at a different location with the same variable name. Okay. So as strings are immutable, you cannot use such expressions like string index is equal to new character. So this is basically when you are trying to add a new character at a particular index. So this will raise an exception as strings are immutable. So you have name is equal to Carmen. Okay, and next, now you are using the plus, that is the concatenation operator, and you are adding Brown to your existing variable name. So now the contents are name is Carmen Brown. So this string is different than the previous string, even though they have the same variable name. So now the new string will have Carmen Brown. And so that is possible, as you are going to change as the address location for each of the strings is different. But when you are trying to make changes from Bill to Jill, you cannot do that because strings are immutable. So with that, we are done with the first topic, that is basic operations in string. The next topic in the next video will be string slicing.